John was working in his science lab, got blasted by gamma rays. Now he's Smash Trivia John, always smashing. He's friends with Ruffalo, in love with Aslan, and also some arrow weaving. John's here saying, hello my gamma friends, welcome to the show, the Gamma Analysis Podcast.
And hold. Smash.
Hello, my Gamma friends. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia. I'll be the one with the big old green end, the profile picture. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies, TV shows, and also do randomly other geeky films. Sometimes I'm not even reviewing something at all. Like this episode. Hope you enjoy. Smash Trivia presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening, please do sign for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. Now let's smash right into this episode. Today's episode, we're going to read and react to the original mature version of the Scooby-Doo 2002 live action and film script that we were originally supposed to get. And I'm doing this with Mari Does Horror from TikTok. How are you doing, Mari?
I am doing great in this very cold New York morning, afternoon.
Understandable. So before we get into reading this, I'm curious. I know you just like me are a really big Scooby-Doo fan. What do you think of the live action movies? Before we get into like what the live action movie was originally gonna be.
So I absolutely love the live action movies, and I also know quite a bit about what it was supposed to be. So it always surprises me when people are like, "Yeah, it's pretty good, but like it feels like they have too many adult innuendos." And I'm like, "Well, that's what the movies were supposed to be, was technically
Oh yeah.
rated R, but then they cut it all out because they were like, oh, well, Scooby-Doo is a kid's show." So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited to read the script for what it was supposed to be, because I know quite a bit of what happens in both of the movies before all the cutting and editing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be
Uh,
fun.
I too. I love the early live action movies. But I've always been curious about the original and original because like I personally love raunchy comedy, and I think it's such a cool mixture or mixing Scooby Doo with that.
It really is. Yeah. I feel like there were so many things that they could have left in, and it probably would have gone a lot more popular than it already was.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still good. They just left out a lot of things that I feel like would have done a lot better, a lot more justice for the movies.
Oh yeah. I'm ready to get into this. So, I'm going to share my screen in where I have the script pulled up so we can read it. We're gonna go back and forth. I'll read one page, you read the next, and that way we can I can see and then we'll be reacting as we go to the different changes that are in it. Because as I expect there's gonna be a lot of wild things in this.
Oh yeah.
All right, can you see this?
Yes, I can.
All right, so obviously this is Scooby Doo. Wrote by Craig Tilley. With based on characters by Barbara Barbera. Revision by Kogan, and this is a new draft by James Gunn. So let's get this started. So we fade in exterior, spooky island night. A full moon pokes a white hole in the black sky. I we hear a festive of rock and roll. And the hoops and hollers of joyful revelers. We pan down to Spooky Island, a typical island in theme park. This cheesy tourist chap is hardly a Disneyland or a Magic Mountain, nor even sad to say a Legoland like like Rome. It was not built in a day. Unlike Rome, it very well likely could have been built in a day. uh, we pass as a colorful fiberglass haunted castle that sits atop a small mountain. We pass palm trees and huge paper mache heads impaled on stakes. We approach a lit sign that reads, "Welcome to Spooky Island, where fear is your only friend." We move past the a sign and out over a crowd of college students dancing, partying, and pouring beer on themselves and each other. Or men in skeleton costumes pounce out of the shadows, frightening nary a soul. We move to a film crew following a pretty peppy a reporter. The reporter walks through the young people. We move with her. She speaks loudly as we heard of the revelry. Hey, students from students the world over are trading in the sandy beaches of Florida for a completely different and spring break experience here on Spooky Island. The reporter arrives at a large breasted lass in a bikini. Hey, what's your name? The reporter says. Barbara, the lass says. Has your experience here on Spooky Island been, well, spooky? Last night I threw up 5 times. That was kind of whacked. Oh my God. Well, that already feels very different from what we got.
Yeah, I feel like wasn't the intro to Spooky Island like they were fighting the lunar ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they basically like break up and then the guy that owns Spooky Island was the one that was like, "Oh, I need your guys' help. You guys need to get back here." So that's like a completely different intro to what we
Oh
just.
yeah. And I think it's like something I find really funny about this is like how much jokes are in like the writing that's literally not stuff that you would see on screen or hear on screen. You just only get it from reading this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can definitely see some moments in the movie that were kind of built like that
Oh yeah.
beginning part, but it's definitely not as straightforward as it's
Yeah,
written.
but like um like where it says like this cheesy tourist chap is hardly a Disneyland or Magic Mountain. Not even sad to say a Legoland. Like Rome, it was not built in a day. Unlike Rome, it is very well could have been. That's not dialogue or even a narrator. That's just the telling us the setting. I kind of it's kind of surprising me that that's not like a narrator thing because like that really feels like a narrator thing.
Yeah, it really would be. All right.
Uh,
So we move on past the cardboard gravestones wobbling in the wind, past island natives, that is, employees of various ethnicities wearing grass skirts and war paint, holding a limbo stick for students, past a hunchback boinking, giggling, past a hunchback boinking, giggling visitors with a plush hammer. We arrive at a rocky mountainside where a young, sullen-looking woman, Isabel Rogers, sits on a stoop of a fake gallows. Isabel is goth, with with asterisks. She wears all black. Her hair is dyed black and gelled into tall spikes. Her eyes are circled by thick, dark rings of makeup. Two fat, sweaty students slam their hairy bellies together in front of her. Oh, nice. Isabel, this place sucks. Isabel's friend, Mandy, stands beside her, peering through a tiny window on a door that reads staff only. The door leads into the mountainside. Mandy is pretty, fresh faced blonde. That's with a pierced nose. Mandy, no doubt. I can't see nothing. Mandy tries the doorknob. It's not locked. Mandy, whoa, hey, Isabel, come on. Why would you want to go in there? Mandy enters the staff doorway. Better than frat central out here. Isabel looks around nervously. She slips in behind Mandy. INT catacomb corridor. Mandy and Isabel peer down a long stretch of a dark cavernous hall. We hear water dripping. Weird.
So neither of these characters are in the version we actually saw.
Who is Isabel, first of
Like Mandy, I feel like could have changed into Mary Jane.
all? Probably.
But Isabel, it sounds like is a member of Shaggy's family.
That's what I was thinking when I first read her name. Like maybe it's a flashback scenario, like maybe one of Shaggy's cousins or something like that. And then that's how it ties into the story. But it's kind of crazy that they completely cut out her character,
Yeah.
like just completely out of the film.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mandy, they should let us come in here, man, and sway any scarier than those Silence of the Lambs bumper boats. Isabel and Mandy creep down the hall. They discover an adjoining hallway to their right. Planks of wood cover the rocky walls. Mandy heads down it. Mandy, let's go back, okay? Or Isabel says, as Mandy, let's go back, okay? Interior or wooden hall. Isabel follows Mandy down the hall. After a moment, Isabel looks behind her. A pair of fiery red eyes are staring at them. Isabel says, Mandy? Andy turns around, sees the eyes, and says, Ha! It's another one of those animatronic demon thingamawats. It's Andy struts down on the hall towards the eyes and says, "They want us to come in here. Here, it's set up to be part of the. They want us to come in here. It's set up to be part of the park." Our Andy gets closer and sees what's actually standing there. Her expression drops. Isabel responds, "Yeah." Mandy says, "Run!" So and he twirls around and starts to dash, but something in the dark grabs her. She falls to her belly. She screams. Isabel yanks her, sees her yanked back, disappeared into the darkness. The screaming stops.
What was supposed to happen? What is this?
I'm
So it's
guessing that. Oh, because I don't think in the version we got that Mary Jane, we ever saw her turn into the demon. I'm guessing this is like what actually sets that up.
oh, that
I'm
makes
guessing
sense because we don't see
Yeah.
her. We only see her in the beginning when they're all on the plane.
Mhm.
But this could very well be like she was turned into a monster and then set out to make sure that the mystery gang actually gets on the plane or whatever.
I mean, that makes sense because I'm pretty sure, like, in the film, it said that Spooky Island was sending people that have been have the demons in them and off the island to spread this around the world.
Yeah. And it shows in the beginning scene like the normal people getting off the plane, and then you see all of the like
Hmm.
zombie people getting on the other plane and just leaving. So it's very, very possible that this is
Yeah.
exactly what happened to her. Um, so it says Isabel takes off down the hall. The eyes follow her. The hallway ends in a T. Isabel darts left. So it says doorway hall. Isabel flees from the fiery eyes. Large wooden doors line the hall on the bottom side, on both sides. She spots red eyes approaching in front of her as well as behind. She tries one door, locked. She tries another. It swings open. She throws herself inside. Isabel slams the door behind her. She clamps a wooden slab in place, locking it. She turns. The enormous creatures slam on the door. A phone sits on the desk. She picks it up, dials, sobs. The phone rings, and an answering machine picks up. Garrett, you have reached the Rogers residence. Please leave a message at the beep. Beep. No, not that one. Haha, this one. Daddy, please pick up. Some type of demon is chasing me. It just got Mandy. Please, Daddy. The door shatters beside her. Isabel screams. She drops the phone and runs through another door. Isabel slams shut another door behind her, deadbolts it. She turns. She sees the walls of the room are plastered with newspaper clippings, magazine articles, and photographs. She looks quickly from one to the other.
Uh, the newspaper article reads: Teenage sleuths reveal Black Knight ghost as hoax. A photo pictures the Mystery Incorporated gang: Shaggy Rogers, Fred Jones, Daphne Blake, Velma Dinkley, and the huge Great Dane Scooby-Doo. Magazine headline reads Mystery Inc. Solve Enigma of Jumping Ghost Clown. Springs on the bottom of shoes. Okay. There is a photo of the gang with the aforementioned shoes. It was a poster ad with Scooby Doo and a Cyclops monster eating Scooby snacks. Reads: Scooby and the Cyclops have this mystery solved. All of Scooby snacks are delicious. Is back to the scene. Isabel stares at the articles, confused, and whispers, "Scooby Doo." The the door crashes down. Isabel screams in horror. The Scooby-Doo theme song on begins and starts art credit sequence montage. The credit sequence is a montage of historical records, pans of magazine and newspaper articles, old TV footage, and interviews documenting the rise and fall of Mystery Inc. The following are some of the snippets for inclusion. In TV footage, interior studios, a host stands on a colorful Peter Maxish studio set for a cheesy variety show. Oh, now, as promised, the four young detectives who defeated the Black Knight Ghost. The audience applauds odds wildly.
So it starts with Fred. Fred Jones! Superimpose in a colorful, groovy point. Fred! Fred Jones jogs down a set of stairs. He's a handsome teen with a healthy blonde mane. He wears a white sweater and a red ascot. He gives a thumbs up. Daphne Baker. Wait,
Acre.
Baker?
What?
Why does it say that?
That's
That's
a
crazy.
wild one.
Daphne Blake, a gorgeous redhead, trots down the other side. She waves, wears an eggplant and pink outfit and a lime scarf. Shaggy Rogers. Shaggy Rogers runs down another set of stairs. He is a skinny teenage dude with a scruffy goatee and a messy mop of hair. He wears a green t-shirt and brown bootcut corduroys. He holds his arm up in triumph. Velma. Velma Dinkley, a stocky tomboy, walks out modestly. She wears thick spectacles that distort her eyes and an orange cowl neck sweater. She smiles politely and nods. And Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Here comes Scooby leaping like a joyous idiot onto the stage. He's the familiar tongue-wagging canine we know and love, brown with black spots, gargantuan, goofy, and gangly. He slides towards us happily until he realizes he's sliding towards the edge of the stage. He panics, tries to stop himself, but is unable. He falls into the front row. Scooby's head pops up amongst the crowd. He chuckles his trademark laugh.
This would have been a fun scene. I will love this.
That would have been so good. I'm just confused as to why they said Daphne Baker.
Yeah.
Why did It's so weird. That's not her last name at all.
All right. I insert newspaper article. The headline reads: Mystery Inc. stops headless horseman's wave of mayhem with fire hose. Features a grainy photo of the gang spraying a fire hose at the headless horseman and on his white mare. TV footage, interior, Tonight Show set. The gang sits on the couch beside Jay Leno. Jay Leno says, "Tell me, how'd you know this headless horse guy I wasn't real?" Fred, I noticed the upper half of his body was too large for his frame. No one's built like that. There was room for a whole head up there. J-Lo, perspective. Daphne, Freddy's so like all genius. That's a really weird way to say that, but okay. The audience applauds. Scooby bows as Velma looks upset. Interview Velma. Velma, just like the rest of the gang in these present day interviews, is a few years older, in her early 20s. I was the one who noticed the headless horseman's body was too big, and I sat there thinking, now Jay Leno will believe it was Fred forever. Grainy TV footage. Exterior, Chicago sidewalk, day. The gang is mobbed by teen fans seeking autographs. Insert our Teen Beat cover. Dreamy photo of an airbrushed Fred.
Oh my God. 17 cover. Photo of Daphne, pretty and sweet in a purple, pink, and lime flower dress. Insert PC gaming cover. Photo of Velma. Headline: Velma Dinkley's gaming tips. Of course she would. Cream cover. Photo of Shaggy jamming on a guitar. Shaggy. They treated me like their personal slave. Finally, I said, "Hey, I'm a detective." Daphne. Where is it? Daphne. I said, "If you're a detective, then name one thing you've detected." Shaggy. So I said, "Okay, I detected that the only thing you're good for is getting captured and tied up by bad guys. How's that?" Daphne. I couldn't believe he'd say that to me. Variety cover. Famous Dog Inc.'s six-figure deal to hawk Scooby snacks with a black and white headshot of Scooby.
Interview Velma. I know Scooby's a dog and everything, but even considering all that, he's a moron. Commercial outtakes. A interior bear set. A close up of Scooby-Doo. Oh, he grins and holds up a bag of Scooby snacks. When I'm hungry, I eat ruby racks. Director, cut. Mr. Do, you must enunciate. Cut to another take. Scooby, Ruby Rat Rare Runny Renver or director cut. I couldn't understand a bloody word he said. And cut to another take. Scooby looks angry. He speaks without passion. When I'm hungry, Ruby Rax. Director, hot. Damn it. I do insert US magazine cover headline. I Mystery Inked debunked. Teen Sherlocks call it quits after 3 troubled years, featuring a photo of a gang in happier days. Interview Fred. There comes a time to separate the wheat from the chaff.
Continued. Fred, the four of them are wheat, and I'm the chaff. Of the other, or the other way around. Whichever is the good one, that's the one I am. Interview, Velma. So I finally quit. Interview, Daphne. I said, I'm out of here, okay? Scooby, Roo Rye and Roo Ruins. Shaggy, to paraphrase Johnny Mathis, said, take this job and shove it. I mean, I didn't say it right then, but I thought of it later, and boy, I wish I had. End credit sequence. Exit Shaggy's house. Night. Rain falls on this ramshackle gray suburban home. The lawn is overgrown, the roof is caving in, the gutters hang, duct tape keeps a cracked window in place. A phone rings. Shaggy's kitchen. A rotary phone sits on a counter crowded with dirty pots and pans. Drops of rain plink against a window behind it. The phone rings again.
So it seems like they were playing for a much longer sequence in getting to the Mystery Inc. gang and splitting up,
Yeah, this
which
is
is
like
interesting.
totally different.
Oh yeah.
We also don't get a shot of Shaggy's house ever
Mhm.
in Spooky Island. We only get a shot of him and Scooby living in the Mystery Machine.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Dude, a dog's front paw picks up the receiver. Or Scooby-Doo hangs the phone to his ear. He yawns, sleepy-eyed. He's just woken up. The rain on the window projects curling shadows onto the fur of his face. Rello, Garrett, Scooby, yeah. Ruby reeking. Garrett's crying. Says, "This is Shaggy's Uncle Garrett. It's my daughter, Isabel. I got a call from her on Spooky Island." And Scooby's eyes flood with fear. Rookie? Garrett says, as she claimed she was being chased by some sort of demon. Demons? Scooby slams down the receiver hanging up on Garrett, stares at it fearfully. The phone rings again, and Scooby picks it up, attempting a Spanish accent. Hola! Garrett, Scooby, I'm not an idiot. I know this is you. El Rubio Ramo, El Rubio here. Scooby hangs up the phone again. He paces back and forth. The dog whines, bites his nails.
So it says, it rings again. Scooby picks it up as if it were a dead pet. He holds the receiver a few inches from his ear. Garrett, put my nephew on the phone. Scooby looks up to see a dark shape stumbling out of the bedroom towards him. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Shaggy Rogers stumbles into the bedroom doorway. He is in his green t-shirt and tidy whities. He scratches his butt. He squints to shut out the light. Who is it? Scooby quickly hangs up the phone. futilely,
Futilely.
futilely, thank you, hoping Shaggy won't notice. Bro, buddy, come on, man. Like, I just watched you on the phone. Scooby shakes his head, denying it. He's a total liar. Thunder cracks. The phone rings. Shaggy reaches for the phone. Scooby jumps to block him. Coolsville University campus. Day. The Coolsville campus is nearly abandoned for spring break. A couple kids play frisbee with a golden retriever. Garrett Rogers' office. Professor Garrett Rogers weeps. He is a stout man with glasses too small for his bald skull. That's crazy. He's he sits in an aero, aeronomic ergonomic chair. A framed photo of Shaggy and Isabel smiling with their arms slung over each other's shoulders is propped on his desk. Advanced degrees cover his walls. A nervous Scooby and Shaggy are seated with him. A tape recorder plays on his desk. So what we said in the beginning was definitely right. It is his cousin.
Uh, oh, with the description of Garrett Rogers, I feel like this is a role that they could have got Danny DeVito for.
Oh, 100%. That would have been perfect. That would have been so good.
Which I feel like Danny DeVito would be so much fun in a Scooby-Doo film.
He would be so funny.
So, oh, Isabel says, as some type of demon is chasing me. It's just got Mandy. Please, Daddy. We hear the door shatter. Isabel screams. The phone drops. The line goes dead. Garrett hits the stop button. The police won't do anything. They said it's a haunted theme park. It's normal for people to get panicked calls. Shaggy says, when's Isabel supposed to get back? Garrett says, as at the end of spring break, a week from tomorrow. Shaggy says, maybe we should wait until. Garrett says, no, something strange is going on. These Spooky Island reps won't let me speak to my own daughter. Garrett pushes his forward two open Coolsville OU yearbooks on his desk. Shaggy, he says, what's this? As Garrett says, I've done some research. These three students all went to the island last year. Three students' photos are circles in pencil. Angel Fawn in a mohawk punk rocker is a mohawk punk rocker. Andrew Cozine is a black rapper with a wraparound sunglasses, shaved in his head. And Floyd Pepper is a deadhead wearing a tie-dyed shirt. Shay says these yearbooks belong to the library. You could get in trouble for drawing on them.
Of course he would. Continued. Garrett shows them two newer yearbooks next to the old ones. The same students pictured are circled. Angel's hair is now blonde and permed. Andrew sports glasses and a bow tie. Floyd is a crew-cutted jock. They are all smiling, happy and conservative. Garrett. These are their pictures from this year since they've returned. Shaggy. Zoinks. Garrett. In addition to their appearance, their GPAs have risen dramatically. They were formerly disciplinary problems, but no longer. Angel, she edits the school paper. Floyd's become the quarterback for the Coolsville Flower Powers. What do you think it could be? Shaggy, it's probably a magic potion. Garrett grips tightly to Shaggy's forearm, breaking down. Fluids drip from his nose. A magic potion? Dear Lord. Shaggy, you have to go to Spooky Island. You have to find Isabel. You have to solve this mystery. Shaggy, Uncle Garrett, stuff from your nose is touching my arm. Shaggy yanks his arm away. I don't know how to do a mystery. You were a profession detective for 4 years. Yeah, but it wasn't, I wasn't, paying attention.
Garrett I places some cash on the table. Oh, my savings. Do whatever you need to find my baby princess. And if I have something here for Scooby, if he'll go with you. Wait. Garrett pulls a bag of Scooby snacks out of a vase. Ruby Rex. Scooby rolls over on the carpet like a nincompoop. He knocks over an end table and lamp. And Garrett looks at Shaggy. Shaggy says, "He's doing tricks. That's rolling over." Scooby unsheaths the display sword from the wall over the desk. He pretends to repeatedly stab himself by jabbing the sword in his armpit. And he falls onto his back. Shaggy says, "Playing dead." And Gareth says, "Scooby, the whole bag is yours if you go to the spooky island and find my daughter." Scooby stands and says, "Okay, I'll rill the Raymons." And Scooby slashes the sword, growling ferociously. Shaggy says, "Uncle Garrett, Fred and Velma figured out everything. I was just the guy that carried their bags." Then get your friends to come along, Garrett says.
Continued. Shaggy. We haven't spoken to them in 2 years. Garrett. Please, you love Isabel as much as I do. Shaggy stares compassionately at his uncle. It's obvious he does love his cousin. Just then, Scooby, pretending to be a swashbuckler, accidentally slices Shaggy's shoulder with the sword. Ow! What are you playing with? Why are you playing with a sword? Scooby points at Garrett. Reed did it. Shaggy, no, he didn't. I was looking at him. Hotel lobby later. Welcome to the 20th anniversary, 20th annual Coolsville Science Fiction Convention. Awkward fanboys, middle-aged men dressed as superheroes, and B-movie starlets in skimpy femme alien costumes cross in front of a placard outside an auditorium. The placard reads, Coolsville AstroCon presents former mystery basher Fred Jones discussing his new book, ESP Shmee SP. Hotel auditorium. Fred Jones at a podium. He holds a remote control. Only 10 or so bored fans sit in a large auditorium. Fred. And then there was the time, of course, when I saw the mystery of Fred presses the remote, flashing a slide of a phony seaweed monster.
The seaweed monster, covered ghost. Fred says, exposing him as Fred clicks the slide to a slide of a seaweed covered ghost, unmasked. A man in a mask, Fred says. Slide of the Aztec ghost chasing Shaggy. Fred says the Aztec ghost was quite a challenge until I discovered our slide of the Aztec ghost unmasked that he was a man in an Aztec ghost mask. Slide of the abominable snowman and ghost. But I guess you'd say I'm most remembered for revealing to the world that the abominable snowman ghost was slide of the abominable snowman ghost unmasked. That was actually a man inside of a mask. A fanboy raises his hand, and the fanboy says, "You think there's such a real thing as a real ghost?" And Fred says, "My new book, ESP Shmee ESP, addresses that issue, my friend. After years of investigating supernatural claims, I have arrived at one utter and unsyllable conclusion. There are no such entities as ghost ghouls, goblins, or monsters."
So, Says Fred continued. At the end of every paranormal claim, there are only fools seeking fame, paranoid imaginations, or charlatans looking to make a buck. There is absolutely no such thing as magic in this world. Beat. Any other questions? A maladjusted a maladjusted fat kid raises his hand. Yeah, why do you suck? The other kids in the auditorium crack up. Fred smiles, blushes, attempts to be a good sport when he spots Shaggy and Scooby in the rear of the auditorium. Scooby waves excitedly. Shagster? Fred says. Fred's hotel room later. Fred sits with Shaggy and Scooby. Yearbooks and a tape recorder are in front of him. Well, it's obvious some sort of man in a mask apprehended your cousin. The important question is, what kind of mask? Shaggy. So you'll go with us? Fred. Can't, Shag. My book tour. Tomorrow I'm off to Evanstown. Shaggy. Well, what about these pictures? Fred. It's either a coincidence or they all got jobs at Disneyland.
Shaggy says, or magic potion. Fred says, Shaggy, there's no such thing as supernatural phenomena. Shaggy says, like you're leaving out the proven entities, right? Fred says, such as Shaggy, leprechauns, rocking relatives. Uh, Shaggy says, yeah, walking skeletons. Scooby says, Rankin Raries. Shaggy says, right, or no, Scoob. Frankenberry's a guy on a cereal box, right? He's not a real guy, is he? Uh, Fred is struck by the idea. Yeah, it could be a hypno wheel, he says. Shaggy says, those red and white twirly things that make you act like a chicken? Fred, nodding, says, Amnesty International has declared hypno wheels a violation of basic human rights ever since Pol Pot employed one during the Kelmer Rogue.
Shaggy. Think of it, Fred. That'd be like the kind of thing that could get a guy like global press, right? Fred, smiling. Out of rinky-dink fan conventions and back on Leno, psychologist's office. A group sits in a circle of chairs. A psychologist reads from a list on her clipboard. Velma Dinkley, why don't you tell us why you enrolled in group therapy? Velma Dinkley is within the circle. She has a difficult time sharing her feelings. Velma, my fellow students in the PhD mathematics program told me I was psychologist bitter. I was in a group for a long time where I didn't get the credit I deserved. No one noticed me. And patient one, what was the group? Velma, mumbling, Mystery Incorporated. Patient two, the guy with the big dog? So the psychologist goes, Scooby-Doo? Patient one, right, and Fred Jones. Poor Velma.
Velma nods, uncomfortable, half attempting a smile. Oh, patient three. Yeah, they had that chick, Daphne. Patient two. Oh my gosh, she was hot. She was so hot. Patient it was says, which one were you? Velma says, Velma. She just said my name a second ago. Patient one says, I don't remember a Thelma. Syria, our psychologist, is parking lot later. Velma exits the office with the other patients. She doesn't socialize. She heads to her Dodge. She hears a car honk and turns. The colorful mystery machine van is here. It's rusted, beaten, and faded. Fred and Ed, Shag, and Scoob wait in it. Velma says, Jinkies! Is interior or mystery machine later. Velma sits in the parked van with Shaggy and Fred. And Velma says, "Where'd you find the mystery machine?" And Fred says, "I tracked it down on eBay a couple years back. I charged fans as $15 for a ride around the block." An angry Scoob is tightly crossing his arms in the back seat. Velma says, "What's wrong with him?"
Continued Shaggy. He's still miffed you called him a moron when we were breaking up. Fred, well, Scoob, you have to admit, relatively speaking, measured against a human, you are a moron. Scooby, offended, snatches a notebook off the back seat. He furiously writes something on it. Fred, so Velma, are you in? This will be a real doozy of a new story if all five of us go. Velma, on one condition. When we announce the Hypno Wheel to the press, I take the TV interviews. Scooby shows the notebook to Velma to prove he's not a moron. It reads, it reads 12 plus 7 equals 12. That's not right. Scooby fiddles with the equation. Fred looks at Shaggy. Fred, but it's tradition that I do that. Velma, fine, forget it. Breaking tradition. That's like hanging turds on a Christmas tree. Scooby, I read rat once. Shaggy, don't remind me, Scoob. Velma sits, says nothing, staring forward. Fred, well, heck, all right.
Fred ruffles Velma's hair like a little kid. She angrily slaps his hand away. Syria, Japanese garden later. Scooby, Shaggy, Velma, and Fred head across a garden towards the dojo. Scooby is still writing in the notebook. A sign reads Tai Chi Academy. Velma says, "Okay, when we get in there, just follow my lead. Daphne's not going to want to go because of Fred." Fred says, "Why? She digs me." Scooby he holds up the notebook again. 12 plus 7 equals 125. Velma says, "No." Velma opens the door. Martial arts match is occurring. Interior dojo, Daphne, and a dashing eggplant and karate robe with a lime belt is taking on numerous students at once. An instructor watches. She karate chops an attacking Asian student in the neck. Two students hurl themselves towards her. She somersaults over them. She downs one on with a swipe to the spine and another with a heel to the kidney. Daphne stands frozen, crouched, her fist out in front of her in fighting lotus stance. The students lie in a mangled pain around her. Instructor, excellent, Daphne-san. You are learning to harness your chi. They hear clapping. Daphne turns to see the gang.
Daphne, what are you doing here? To Fred, especially you. Hey, don't be sharp just because Freddie gave you the heave ho. Scooby to Fred, re-raz Rinky. Daphne, I was stinky? Shaggy, clingy. He said you were clingy. Daphne, I broke up with you, Freddie. Velma, Mystery Inc. is reforming. Daphne, yippee! My answer is no way. Velma, I understand. Let's go, guys. Everyone following Velma's lead start to leave. This startles Daphne. Daphne, where are you What do you mean you understand? Velma, it's easy for us, but for you, always getting captured and tied up, always having to be saved by someone else, I can see where being the damsel in distress is humiliating. Daphne, but I'm not like that anymore. I've slowly kind of turned my body into sort of a dangerous weapon. Velma smiles patronizingly. She and the others exit.
Daphne stands agonized, torn. She beats her hands against her forehead, Annette Bening style. Then she succumbs. Daphne says, "Damn it! Wait." Exterior Coolsville Airport, establishing day. A plane takes off overhead. Interior Coolsville Airport bathroom. Daphne stands with Thelma. Daphne says, "Those guys are gonna look like total idiots when they're captured. And then I'm the one that's saving them." Scooby, hold still. She's putting a lipstick on a distracted Scooby. He wears a gray wig, a floppy bonnet, and a pair of teardrop jewelry studded glasses. Daphne holds an old lady's driver's license upside his face. Daphne says, "What do you think? Does he look like my grandmama?" Velma stares without expression at Daphne. The interior, Coolsville Airport. Fred wheels his luggage, a list of TWA departure times. Aboard list flights to L.A., St. Louis, New York, as well as one flight to Spooky Island, leaving at 4:10. Shaggy expertly plays a 50-cent crane machine. The grabber Ira grips the stuffed off dragon. Shaggy guides it into the slot, hoots triumphantly, and spots Fred. Shaggy says, "Fred, check out all these things I won." Fred eyes a pile of stuffed animals beside Shaggy.
Fred, cool. Where are KD, Lang, and Malibu Barbie? Shaggy, disguising Scooby, like, cause if he has to ride in a kennel, he gets all claustrophobic. Fred, horrified, sees something down the hall behind Shag. Fred, oh my God. Scooby is having a heck of a time staying upright in high heels. Daphne helps him walk. His body wavers and jerks. Young a young boy and his mommy pass Scooby. The boy points. Young boy, Mommy, what's wrong with that lady? Mommy smiles at Scooby. She speaks out the side of her mouth while shoving her son's pointing finger down. Mommy, be nice, Larry. She has a disease. Daphne whispers to Scooby. Daphne, good boy, just keep your balance. They arrive at they arrive at Shaggy and Freddy. Please, Scooby freakishly grins and gives them a thumbs up. Scooby, Ruby rockin' good. Velma won't look directly at him. Velma, make him cut that out. It's creepy. Fred theatrically throws his palm downward in the middle of the gang. The others stare at him.
Scooby's entering his drag queen era.
I love that they kept that in the actual movie.
It's interesting, like that there's so much more context here for it because like in the actual movie, Daphne wasn't with them yet when he did that.
Yeah, he kind of just did it on his own in the
Uh,
movie, and I don't think they even explained why they put him in drag
No, they
because
did.
wasn't there another dog on the plane too that he like growled at, or was it a
Yeah,
cat?
yeah. I think there was either another dog or there was a cat, something like that.
So it
Yeah.
was like there was no reason to put him in drag to begin with.
Uh, Shaggy says, "What?" Fred responds, "Before we get on the plane, let's do that thing where we put our hands on top of each other, lift them up, and go woohoo." Scooby says, "Okay." So he puts his paw on Fred's hand. And Scooby says, "Woohoo!" Fred says, "Wait for everybody, Scoob." Scooby says, Sorry. Fred stares at the others, pumped up, grinning widely. Daphne says, "I'm not going to do it unless Velma and Shaggy do it." Shaggy says, "People are watching." Thelma shakes her head a little and grimaces. The three of them walk away. Fred and Shaggy and Scooby stand alone, their fake smiles fading, their hands on top of each other. Scooby says, "Roo." Interior or airport gate. Moments later, an airport clerk collects tickets at the gate. Passengers fly by. I file by. Airport clerk, please have ID ready with your ticket. Daphne shows the clerk her driver's license.
All right. The clerk nods, rips her ticket, and Daphne passes through. Shaggy peers nervously back. It gives him his ticket and ID. The clerk rips his ticket, and Shaggy passes through. Scooby hands the clerk his ticket and ID. The clerk looks at the photo of Daphne's grandmother. Scooby, pretending to have no teeth, does a melodramatic senior citizen voice. Red old Brady, Scooby says. The clerk stares at him. Velma, behind Scooby, explains, Velma, since that photo of my grandmother's contracted acromeg acromegaly,
It,
I don't know how to say that.
I don't know either. Just listen.
Some kind of whispered the elephant man disease. The clerk nods sympathetically. He rips the ticket. Airport clerk, God bless you, ma'am. Exit airplane evening. The plane soars over the sunset and wispy clouds. Interior airplane. College students abound, many of them tattooed punks and goth rockers and hippies. Scooby, Shaggy, and Fred sit across the aisle from an upper crusted code. Scooby notices a cat in a Sherpa bag in the space at the feet of the code. The cat hisses at him. Scooby, still dressed as an old lady, growls, his lips rolled up. The code gives Scooby an uneasy look. Shaggy saw a voice. Scooby, cut it out. Scooby stops. Okay, so they did keep the growling scene in
Yeah.
too.
You know, something that I find interesting here that I don't think that the actual film is like is super clear about is how I'm pretty sure they pretty sure so they Spooky Island is specifically targeting people who are punk, people who are goth, who are hippies, generally pretty left-leaning people, and and they turn them into these conservative traditionalist, is very prudish kind of people, and I think, and it seems like this script is having way more of that than what the actual film had, which is really interesting, and doesn't surprise me knowing the kind of stuff that James Gunn does now.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that would have been really cool if they really went hard on that in the actual film.
I feel like it would have made it 1,000 times funnier than it already was if they had kept this extra stuff in the script.
Definitely. Scooby says, Rory. Fred has hypno wheel notes and diagrams on a tray in front of him, but he ignores them for a moment, staring longingly at Daphne, who sits a couple rows down. Sagi says, as you still have like a thing for her, don't you? Fred looks at him and Shay says, Daphne. Fred's like, that's ludicrous. As Shay says, then what's this? As Shaggy points at some doodles next to Fred's notes, parts that read, Fred puts Daphne forever, and poorly drawn pictures of Daphne, Fred scrambles and shuts it. Don't be touching my private things, Fred says. The cat hisses at Scooby again. Scooby loses it and barks at the cat. Everyone looks at the barking old lady. Shaggy says, Scooby. Fred says, as Shaggy, it's a simple behavior modification. And to cause a dog to discontinue any action, you flick him on the nose. Observe, Scoob. Scooby stares to Fred. I'd all. Fred says, when you bark, this is what happens. And Fred flicks Scooby on the nose. And Scooby stares a moment. Then he punches his Fred 8 times in the face. Hard. He punched him once in the actual film. That would have been wild.
That's crazy.
Oh man, I feel like he would have gotten kicked off the plane. And if they would have like landed somewhere before or Spooky Island and kicked Scooby off the plane if that had happened in real life.
Oh, definitely.
I find it interesting that Fred is an artist, I guess, or he draws stuff in this. Because that does not seem like his character in the actual film.
Like at all. He's much more. He's very like he is in like all the other Scooby, media that we see, where he's just very traps and trying to figure out how certain things like work to trap a villain or like figuring out a mystery, but it's never been like, oh, he's artistic. The only time I've ever seen him like draw anything was in Mystery Inc. when he would like draw out the traps himself.
Yeah.
That's about it. I've never seen Fred as like an actual artsy guy.
It's just I was very surprised when it said that he's doing poorly drawn pictures of Daphne and Fred plus Daphne forever.
That was really funny.
So
it says Spooky Island Airport, night. The gang and the students descend a stairwell from the plane. Scooby tears away his disguise and gazes out at a cobblestone walkway leads from the plane onto the eighth rate Disneyland. Natives line the walkway. They vend skull keychains, t-shirts, and plastic
I have no idea what those.
I don't know what they wrote. Lois formed to resemble intestines. Loudspeakers emit scary music. Fred, okay, gang, let's spread that photo of Isabel around and see if anyone knows her. Then we'll see if we can locate the hypno wheel. The gang fans out at the bottom of the stairs. They each have a photograph of Isabel, which they show to the natives. Daphne stands with one employee. Daphne, she came in last week. Isabel Rogers, have you seen her? Nick, native employee. Boy, I'd like to help, but I haven't. Sorry. Shaggy shows a picture to Ngu Tauna, a large, friendly albino wearing a slick suit. Ngu has a strange accent. Ngu, no, I do not recognize her. Is this your dog? Ngu looks at Scooby-Doo. Shaggy nods. Ngu, it is unarguably the most beautiful animal I have once held eyes on. Enthused native, may I pet your dog? Shaggy shrugs. The natives gather around Scooby, oohing and awing as they pet him. Scooby digs the attention, but is a bit ticklish. Ngu looks at Shaggy. Ngu, I am Ngu Tana, the proprietor of this island hotel. You come along in my car. I drive the werewolf.
I'm
What
guessing
kind of name?
I'm guessing Engu is maybe like the bald guy from the film.
Yeah. Do we ever get? I feel like we got his name at one point in the movie, but I
Maybe
can't
I don't
remember.
remember what it was. A line of golf carts wait at the end of the walkway. Each cart is adorned with a different monster theme: the Mummy, Dracula, King Kong, a Smurf, etc. A monster theme aim equals a paper mache a monster head on top of the cart. Exterior walk of horrors. Moments later, Engu drives the werewolf cart down the cobblestone pathway. Gaudy animatronic statues loom on either side of the lane. These statues are weathered, with parts chipping away, famous monsters, cheesy ghosts in sheets, and skeletons missing bones. They chomp and grab at passerby. As the gang is crowded together in the cart. Fred and Velma sits at the front seat with Engu. Uh-oh, the breasts are in back. Engu says, "You come here to face the demons?" Velma says yes, and afterwards we're going to the Pirates of the Caribbean to stop the horrible mutation going on there. And Goose says, "Ha ha, one who is still is doubting." Fred says, "We've come here to disprove your demons. I'm an author, Fred Jones." And Goose says, "It rings no bells." Fred says, "Perhaps you know one of my books, The Bermuda Triangle. What crap?" Or Bigfoot. Bullshit. And shakes his head and says, "I'm very famous in the U.S." As Shaggy in the back seat buries his face in Shaggy's chest, and Shaggy says, "It's okay, Scoob. They're only machines." Oh, so I was like, the side I find interesting is um they particularly put a Smurf reference in here, here, which the director of this would go on to be the person who made the Smurfs movie in 2011. So I'm guessing he already had his eye on Smurfs back when this was being made.
Oh, probably. I mean, we also got Smurf references in the final cut too. When they were talking about the Papa Smurf in the movie. I don't remember completely what the full background plot was for that, but I remember them going into the background of that one spooky castle and they were talking about the Papa Smurf. So I'm
Uh,
assuming he definitely, at least now from reading the actual script, he definitely had plans
mhm.
for the Smurf movies in the future.
uh,
All right, so it says Scooby peers up and sees an animatronic Frankenberry chomping on the bloody arm of a dead little girl. Scooby screams at the top of his lungs, Daphne, "Oh my God, isn't that the cast of Friends?" It is indeed an animatronic cast of Friends eating a dog.
Christ.
Alter, mo Alter moments later, the golf carts pull around a stone altar and a circular stone platform. Weeds poke through the platform's cracked surface. In the center of the platform is a large stone bowl covered with carvings of demons. The gang gathers beside a mopped rental stand beside the platform.
Moped.
Oh, moped. Thank you. Mondavarius approaches a podium and microphone on the altar. He is a genuinely spooky bald man with a goatee in the shape of an arrow. Wait, I guess that's the bald guy
Yeah,
that
that's
we
the bald
saw.
guy we saw in the movie. So I guess this Engu guy is just something else.
Yeah. He wears a mystical flowing purple robe. He wears mystical flowing purple robes and he has a large key hanging from his belt. Zarko stands by Montevarious' side. Zarkos is a huge Mexican ex-wrestler, bare-chested but for crossed suspenders. A mask covers the upper half of his face. Montevarious, stilted and detached, reads a speech. Montevarious, welcome to Spooky Island. My name is Montevarious. Locked away in my castle of horrors. Montevarious motions towards the colorful fiberglass castle on the mountain. I have dedicated my life to the study of demonology and have found demons to be very, he turns to the next page, frightening. I would like to introduce my bodyguard. His name is Sarkos. You may recognize him from Telemundo as the famous masked wrestler Sarkos. Good luck. I hope you stay here. I hope your stay here is a horrifying one.
Montevarious starts to leave and then stops and stares out at the crowd. He says this one thing with feeling. Oh, and be sure to return to your lodgings by midnight. Demons prowl the forest after midnight in search of fresh, young souls. Montevarious grins. He jumps into Shaggy's arms, shivering. Scooby says, Demons! Natives stand in filled lines on the circular platform. Flames shoot up from the bowl in the center of the platform. Armed drummers drum beside the platform. Natives do a synchronized dance. They chant a strange, unearthly song. The natives say, a ringio, a wado set, at Bobbingham, Tom not fet, Rikingo, a rockoling. This is what we demons sing. An enormous Daphros demon goddess appears in the flames. She has as an evil hawk's head in the body of a voluptuous woman. She wails a siren song. The college students step back in awe. Scooby and Shaggy scream. This time, Shaggy jumps into Scooby's arms. Velma says, look, you chickens, there's a holographic camera placed. Velma points out the cameras projecting the demon goddess is into the center of the flame.
Velma, there, and there, and there. It's just an optical illusion. Shaggy, oh, ha, holograph. Shaggy and Scooby giggle and poke each other for being fraidy cats. Daphne is showing the moped rental guy the picture of Isabel. He shakes his head. She turns towards the others. Daphne, no one recognizes Shaggy's cousin. Fred, we should head up to the Mondavarious Fellows Castle. Seems the most likely place to hide a hypno wheel. Scooby, row rassles. Shaggy, we don't do castles. Velma, why? Shaggy, because castles have paintings with eyes that watch you and knights armor that's a statue, but there's a guy inside who follows you every time you turn around. Daphne, oh come on, Shaggy. How many times has that happened? Shaggy, 12. I'm not gonna do it. Shaggy. Daphne, Scooby, Ruh-roh, Fred, Shag.
He says, no way. Velma says, the castle will have food. Scooby says, rude? Shaggy says, you think it has food? Because I didn't, eat any dinner. So they just didn't offer them the Scooby snacks X in the original script for this.
They're just baiting them with food.
Yeah. Sheer forest. Moments later, 4 mopeds zoom upward, uphill, ramping up in the air. Scooby and Shaggy share a moped. Scooby drives. I was exhilarated. and while Shaggy holds on for dear life. Shaggy says, "Slow down, Scooby. I think a little pee just came out of me." Exterior on the various castle. Well, moments later, Velma, Daphne, and Fred screech sideways to a stop, all in a clear line in front of the Disney-esque castle. Scooby tries to do the exact same thing, but his moped runs into the rest, and they all fall over like dominoes. Exterior on the various castle. Oh, moments later, the gang stands up on the castle porch. Velma presses a doorbell. It plays a cheesy melody. Scooby and Shaggy are frightened. Fred is excited. Fred says a hypno wheel could be our biggest coup. Since we teamed up with the Harlem Globetrotters and opened a can of whoop ass on Redbeard's ghost. No one answers the door. Shaggy says, "No one's here. Let's go." Uh-oh. I really
Velma.
like that they reference their team up with the Harlem Globetrotters in this original script.
Yeah, I love that movie, by the way,
Oh yeah.
where Scooby-Doo meets the Harlem Globetrotters. That was such a good movie.
I remember watching it so many times as a kid.
Yeah, it was a good. There were so many
Oh yeah.
Scooby-Doo meets any famous person that has just been
Mm-hmm.
great. So it says, Velma, let's see if the door is unlocked. Scooby, try the door. Scooby, Ryrie. Velma, because if a demon tears your head off, we'll have a warning. Scooby whines, holds up his limp paw. Shaggy pulls a Scooby snack from his pocket. Shaggy, will you do it for a Scooby snack? Scooby brightens. He opens his mouth wide. Shaggy throws one up in the air and Scooby catches it. Scooby gags. The snack is caught in his throat. A panicked Shaggy gives him the Heimlich maneuver. Daphne, fed up, turns the doorknob herself. It's open. She walks inside. Scooby coughs up the snack. It propels into a small moat. Interior castle. Moments later, the others enter behind Daphne. The castle interior contrasts the phony exterior. It's decorated in a colorful suburban way. Shag carpeting, flowered wallpaper. Shaggy. Zoinks! Not quite what I expected. Scooby. Rivry, another ruby rack. Shaggy. The rest are in my suitcase. Scooby makes a face as if Shaggy killed his mother. Fred. Okay, let's split up and look for clues. Daphne, you and I.
Daphne says, "I don't think so, Fred. I know where your mind goes when we get trapped in a mummy's tomb." Fred says, "Why are you all huffy? What did I ever do to you?" Daphne says, "You cheated on me, Fred, with every fan you could get your hands on. You were like a lion with impalas, looking for the ones that were wounded or too young to know any better. I'm going with Shaggy and Scooby." Bubba says, "Typical." Daffy says, "What?" Bubba says, "Just like it always was. I was always picked last for the teams." Daphne says, "Teams? Your little cliques. You and Fred over here, Shaggy and Scooby over there. I was always the third wheel." Fred, "Fine. I and Daphne, come with Velma, come with me. I want you to. I want you to. I'm very excited about it." Interior castle library. Daphne runs her fingers along the books along bookshelf. A combination of gruesome novels, a self-help of tomes by I. Fulgham, and withered volumes on occult subjects. Scooby beside her can see through a doorway into a kitchen. He pokes Shaggy, and they move toward it. I'm very surprised they actually went so far as to have that Fred cheats in this.
I know, because he's never been that kind. Like you in the first and second film, when they get surrounded by fans, he like s sees like he seems like very like ad I wouldn't say admired. I don't know the right word to say. Like he's happy that he has fans,
Mhm.
but like you've never seen him as the type to go for anyone else besides Daphne. So it's a
Yeah.
little shocking to even read that.
And not only that he's like so willing to cheat, but the line that he's like that too young to know any better. Like
Yeah, that was
they
crazy.
really want to make you think he's a creep in this.
That was insane.
Oh man.
So it says Daphne arrives at a book. Men are from Mars, I am from Hell by John Gray. She removes it. As she does, the bookshelf twirls open, leading into a tiny room. An ancient text sits on a lectern beneath. Wait, sits on a lectern beneath a single lamp. Interior castle hallway. Fred and Velma walk along a wall with framed photos of Anne Geddes babies. Velma, we can split up now. It was nice of you to pretend, but I know you'd have rather gone with the other guys. B. It's because I'm ugly, isn't it? Fred. Velma, no. Heck, stocky chicks turn me on every now and again. Velma glares at him. Fred. What? That was a compliment. They pass a picture of a kid dressed up like a cabbage. Its eyes follow them, watching. Interior castle library. Daphne eyes the heavily bound text. It reads in gold, Damon Ritus. She opens it to reveal Latin text on parched, crumbled pages hundreds of years ago. Some pages are marked in yellow highlighter. Interior castle kitchen. Shaggy and Scoob are covered in food from the refrigerator and cabinets. Shaggy swallows a sardine and burps. Scooby chuckles. He copies Shaggy, letting out a small burp.
Shaggy laughs too. He rolls back his head and burps out loud, obnoxiously loud. Scooby yanks on his own tail, pretending this triggers a drawn out belch. Shaggy slaps the back of his head and makes a burp fall into his hand, clutching it. He opens his hand and lets the burp out of his hand, burping again. And Scooby concentrates, squints one eye. He farts. It's, Shaggy says, "Ha, you asked for it." Shaggy sticks his butt to the side. He works hard at pushing out a long, uneven sounding fart. Daphne enters the room, enters the kitchen doorway behind Shaggy, holding the Damonitis. Shaggy doesn't see her. Scooby slices his finger across his throat in a cut it out gesture. And Shaggy says, I don't think so. I'm not stopping until all your fur is singed off. He cracks up as he continues to pass an inhuman amount of gas. Scooby points surreptitiously behind him and Shaggy. Shaggy's still laughing and farting. He looks behind him, and Daphne he stares at him. And Shaggy's smile disappears. His fart stops mid-sound. Daphne says, I thought we were trying to save your cousin. Shaggy says, yeah, right. That wasn't me. That was the plumbing. Scooby cracks up. Daphne says, I found this weird book. Daphne plops the Daemonitis on the counter. Scooby and Shaggy peer at it over Daphne's shoulder.
Insert page. Beneath the yellow highlighted text on a parched paper is an illustration of thousands of demons rushing down as humans scream in terror. Back to scene. Scooby. Rake a root, rake a root. Shaggy. Yeah, it would make a good t-shirt. Daphne, you guys. She turns the page. Scooby and Shaggy love it. Scooby, oh, a rule. Shaggy, whoa. Daphne, it's a demon eating a baby's head. Shaggy, yeah, but you
Sorry.
put it like, yeah, but you put it like, you know, a band name over it. They hear a door unlocking. Interior castle. Mondavarius and Zarkos enter her hurriedly. Zarkos, two went this way, the others El Cocina. Interior castle hallway. Zarkos and Mondavarius move swiftly down the hallway. They move past three large minge vases. After they pass them, Daphne, Shaggy, and Scooby stick their heads out of them. Daphne, come on. They start to get out they start to get out of them. Shaggy panics, his shoulders are lodged in the vase.
I love that all this idea that even though Scooby and Shaggy are scared of like demons and stuff like that, but they're like metal band lovers, so they just so they like it if you put a band name over it. That's
That
so stupid, but
was
I love it.
so funny. I wish they kept that in the movie because that would have
Oh
been
yeah.
hilarious.
Shaggy says, "I'm stuck." Scooby runs away. I Daphne tries to pull Shaggy out, but is unable. Daphne says, "Crap, Scooby, where are you going?" Interior castle, kitchen. Moments later, Sarkos and Montevarius enter. Food is all over the kitchen, and the Damon Ritus is on the counter. Montevarius runs his finger along the binding. The highlighted pages have been torn away. He turns to Zarkos. Montevarius says, "Why didn't you stop them?" Zarkos says, "I did. They just don't know it yet." Exterior Montevarius Castle. Fred and Velma are on their mopeds as Scooby gets on his. As Daphne rolls the Ming vase with Shaggy in it out the front door. Fred says, "What are you doing?" Daphne says, "Oh, we just thought it would be fun to roll Shaggy around in a vase." And Fred says, "Why now?" And Velma's like, "She's kidding." Fred says, "As oh." Daphne he closes her eyes. He makes it's a humming sound, and she slowly pulls back her fist.
Shaggy, what's she doing? I think she's gonna hit me. Velma, she's summoning her chi. Daphne's fist flies forward, shattering the vase without touching Shaggy. He's relieved. He's relieved not to be hurt. Shaggy, thanks, Daph. Daphne smiles, nods, straddles her moped. Fred, let's all meet back at the hotel. Daphne, Fred, and Velma take off. Shaggy gets on the moped behind Scooby. Shaggy, Scooby, you totally abandoned me. Scooby, Rory. Scooby kickstarts his engine. Beside his kickstand, a hole has been poked into the gas tank. Gas streams out. Exit forest moments later. Fred, Velma, and Daphne zip by down the steep hill. Shaggy and Scooby are behind them, but their moped is puttering and slowing. Finally, it stops. Holiday Inn establishing. A brightly lit hotel in the middle of the dark forest. Fred, Velma, and Daphne are entering. Holiday Inn lobby. As Fred, Velma, and Daphne come through the door, they're almost toppled by two giggling students in their underwear, chasing and spraying shaving cream on each other.
That's so random.
Like, in the lobby?
Yeah. Fred says, "As we'll reconvene here at 8 in the morning." Velma and Daphne nod. Interior Holiday Inn bar. Moments later, Velma sits down at a bar beside a long-haired metalhead. She looks at the bartender. Velma says, Coca-Cola, please. His bartender sets her up with Coke in a glass. The metalhead says, "You're the one I saw talking to those Mystery Inc. guys. You know them?" Velma stares at him. On her other side, a mischievous student pours vodka into her Coke. She doesn't see this. She takes a sip of her Coke. She's surprised by its tasty quality. So she takes another sip. Exterior forest. Scooby and Shaggy stand beside the dead moped. Scooby, we're out of grass. As Shaggy says, I guess we like have to walk, man. We better hope we don't have fresh young souls, Scoob. Shaggy laughs loudly. Scooby snickers with vigor. Shaggy laughs a little quieter. Scooby laughs quieter. Shaggy stops laughing. Scooby does too. Shaggy's mouth is off as a flat line. Scooby is also not amused. His interior, Daphne's hotel room. Daphne unpacks her suitcase, which lies open on her bed. I'm surprised that the rest of the gang just doesn't seem to notice that Scooby and Shaggy didn't follow them to the hotel.
They just got to the hotel and were like, all right, guess we'll meet here in the morning, and then just went on their separate ways. No thought at all about Shaggy or Scooby.
Yeah, like, that's wild.
So it says, continued. She removes an eggplant and pink bodysuit on a hanger. There's a knock at the door. Daphne, hold on. Daphne opens the door. Hey, it's Fred. He smiles mischievously as he leans against the doorway. Daphne, Shaggy and Scooby show up? Fred, Velma's waiting for them in the bar downstairs. So I guess they did realize at some
Yes,
point.
but they weren't very worried about it.
No. Interior Holiday Inn bar. A drunken Velma is held aloft by a cadre of students. She whoops as she swirls her turtleneck sweater over her head. Back to Daphne's room. Fred, they're probably with her by now. You find any evidence of a hypno wheel? Daphne, no, but I think Montevarius may take demons more seriously than he lets on. Fred, you're saying you believe there's actual demonic activity on this island? Daphne, no, but Fred starts to enter. Daphne, what are you doing? Fred, we have adjoining rooms. I'll leave my side unlocked. Daphne puts her hand on his chest, stopping him. Whoa!
I, yo, it does. I hope that Velma was wearing something under her sweater. If she's swirling it over her head now, so she's not wearing it anymore.
I'm pretty sure this leads into the next scene that I am absolutely obsessed with, where she serenades Daphne. It's so good.
Wasn't that the? Now I know there's a deleted scene that actually was released. I think was that, but that was when she had the demon inside of her, or if I remember
That
right.
was in the locker room. There's
Yeah.
another scene that was deleted
Just,
in the bar where she starts
okay.
singing "You're Too Good to Be True" as Daphne walks down these stairs, and she just
Okay.
Velma stares at her as she's singing this, and it's kind of implied that Velma has a crush on Daphne.
Mhm. Daphne says, "You think we're gonna share rooms?" Fred says, "We have a long history." Daphne says, so did Godzilla and King Kong, but that doesn't mean they should have sex. Fred says, come on, I miss you. Daphne says, I want nothing to do with you, Freddy. Fred says, we fit together like Legos. Daphne says, back then, right? When I was always pretending. Fred says, pretending? Daphne says, that I was weak and that you were strong and that you were smarter than me. So, oh, you'd like me, Fred. All right. Fred snickers. Daphne says, you don't believe me? Fred says, well. Daphne says, remember when the cheddar cheese ghost captured me? Fred says, sure. Daphne says, you think I thought he was real?
Continued. Fred, you were terrified. Daphne, he had cheddar cheese for a head. I let him capture me so you could save me. Oh, help, help, give me a break. And I'll tell you that wasn't the only thing I faked. Fred, slow down. Daphne, but I'm over the codependent damsel in distress crap. All right? I don't want you. I don't like you. And that ascot, it makes you look gay. Daphne shuts the door in his face. Exterior Holiday Inn hallway. Fred stands in front of Daphne's closed door. He's speechless for a moment. Then, Fred, that thing on your head, that beret headband, maybe that makes you look gay. Did you ever think of that? A maid passes by. Fred smiles at her, embarrassed. Fred, I couldn't think of anything better. Exit, winding path later. Scooby-Doo and bedraggled, bedraggled.
Yes.
They use the weirdest
Oh, yeah.
words for this. Shaggy went their way up through the forest. Scooby trails a few feet behind. Eerie trees loom over them like phantoms. Shaggy, my bones are aching, my feet are tired, and my soul is guessing it's past midnight. Heh.
Scooby spots a frog. He playfully tries to slap his paw down on the frog. The frog leaps into the woods. Scooby bounds off after it, disappearing into the trees. Shaggy says, you know what I'm saying, Scoob. Shaggy turns towards Scooby. He's not there. Shaggy says, Scoob? Exterior forest, moments later. Shaggy maneuvers between trees and into the darker woods. Shaggy says, Scooby-Doo, where are you? Brushes his Russell. Beside Shaggy. Relieved, he moves towards the rustling. And Shaggy says, like, what are you doing, man? And you're always messing around when we're supposed to. Shaggy separates the branches. Instead of Scoob, he sees is Shaggy's POV. A humongous slit pair of eyes in the darkness. A striking combination of flesh, flames, and black embers. Back to the scene. The flaming eyes staring towards Shaggy. Shaggy runs. The eyes jaunts behind him, towards him. Shaggy stumbles into your brookside clearing. And Scooby-Doo is here, chasing the frog in circles, trying to paw it. Shaggy looks out behind him. The eyes are no longer there.
Scooby, Raggy a rog. Shaggy, go. Scooby, right. Scooby sees the flaming eyes appear over Shaggy's head. Scooby-Doo screams at the top of his lungs. Shaggy sees the eyes. He screams. The frog sees the eyes. The frog screams. The frog hops into the brook. Exit forest. Shaggy and Scooby shriek like girls as they dash away. They spot the lit Holiday Inn as they make their way to the edge of the forest. Exit Holiday Inn. Moments later, Scooby yanks on the handle. Scooby, it's rocked. The alarm. They slam their fists on the door. Shaggy, help! Open up! Open up! Scooby, rope! Scooby notices a buzzer and intercom. He presses it. Intercom guy. Yeah? Scooby. Rhett Rustin. Intercom guy. What? Scooby. Freeman's trying to rill us. Intercom guy. What do you got a dead jellyfish in your mouth? Sober up, Jack. The rules are no one in past midnight.
Scooby panicked, takes a running start and flails himself painfully into the front door. Or Shaggy sees the eyes stagger towards them. He can make out its gigantic shape. Abe, Shaggy says, "Yes, we're sorry. We apologize. We've been bad. But let us in, you pinhead. It's about to tear out our flesh, our fresh young souls from our bodies." Intercom says, a guy says, "Well, as long as you admit you've been bad." The buzzer buzzes, and Scooby and Shaggy fling open the doors. They throw themselves inside. Interior Holiday Inn lobby. Shaggy and Scooby slam the door shut. They lock the door. They turn and see numerous students in the lobby watching. Some are gathered on the second floor or stairwell, looking down to see what all the commotion is about. The Metalhead and Velma are in front. Velma is sloshed. Us Metalhead says, "Why were you dudes banging on the door like a bunch of whiny little wusses?" Velma says, "Scooby-Doo, you know what do it. It's another name for poop. Your name is Scooby Poop." Shaggy and Scooby push furniture in front of the door to block it. Shaggy says, "Velma, it's a demon." Velma, "It's a man in a mask."
So it continues. Shaggy, that's a pretty good theory, except for one thing. Velma, what? Shaggy, they have fire instead of eyes. Velma clutches the metal head shoulder about to cry. Velma, Sith is my best friend. Shaggy looks around the room for things to use as weapons. Shaggy, we need a plan. How about we fashion like a giant crossbow out of the strings of that grand piano. Metalhead, baby grand. Shaggy, baby grand, right. And Shaggy spies a tall, upright halogen lamp. A halogen lamp as an arrow. The metalhead looks at him like he's an idiot. The Holiday Inn lounge area. Scooby sits melancholy in a corner with cushy seats and standing ashtray. Scooby enters, panic. Scooby, red, red, red. Fred, hey Scoob, buddy. Scooby, Ronster Rays re-rude Dolores.
Quick for or continue. We've been doing this for around 2 hours. How are you do you have anything that you need to do today or anything that make you not be able to
Um,
continue?
I do have to start making some dinner soon, so I don't know
Okay.
if you want to stop now. I mean, I can do like a few more pages. Um, it's up to you.
Uh, um, Thinking let's probably go. What do you think of going for like 10 more pages?
Yeah, we could do that.
Uh, So, Fred says, uh, uh, that was you slamming on the door. Or Scooby nods. As Fred stands, fed up. Fred says, "Man, this is the most embarrassing thing you've done since you decided to clean your crotch at Knott's Christmas party. Not that that wasn't an envy of it. I wasn't envious of your elasticity. Jesus Christ." Scooby gnashes teeth and walks like a monster. Or Scooby says, "Monster rig. I ranted to real Ruby Doo's roll." Fred says, "How many times do I have to say it? There's no such entities as ghosts, ghouls, goblins, or monsters. At the end of every a paranormal claim, there are only fools seeking fame, paranoid imaginations, or charlatans looking to make a buck. There is absolutely, absolutely no such thing as magic." Cuts off as an enormous demon, 12 feet tall, smashes through the window. His eyes are flames. His flattened head sinks into his monstrously muscular body. His horrible claws are 3 feet long. His body is raw, pink, varicose, and protoplasmic. It's safe to say this is no man in a mask. The demon picks Fred up in his huge claws and smashes him against the wall, knocking him unconscious. Interior Holiday Inn lobby. Another demon kicks in the front door, shattering it. The pieces knock Velma down. Her glasses fly off. The demon, partially visible in the doorway, lets out an incredibly loud, piercing shriek, a noise seemingly surging directly from the bowels of hell.
Continued. College students scream, flee in terror. Scooby-Doo enters, galloping out of the bar. Scooby, Raggy! 5 screeching demons chase out of the bar after him. Shaggy looks around, realizing something. Shaggy, we don't have enough halogen lamps. We don't have enough halogen lamps at all. Demons smash furniture and pick up college students. Some demons breathe a green mist on the students, a kind of gas that promptly knocks the students unconscious. Others slam the students against walls. A quicker job of it. They fling the unconscious youths over their shoulders. They move on to the next victim. Velma runs her fingers over the carpet, searching for her specs. Velma, my glasses, my glasses. Velma's POV, of vague blob shapes. Then her cracked glasses are handed to her. Velma, thanks. That's back to scene. Velma stands putting on her glasses. She looks to see who gave them to her. It's a grinning demon. Velma, Jinkies. The demon picks her up. He breathes the green mist on her.
Interior Holiday Inn baggage area. Scooby-Doo flies into the room behind the front desk. Visitors' luggage is piled here, waiting to be brought to the proper room. Some demons pass through the hall behind him, unaware of him. And Scooby digs through the suitcases, tossing one out of the way after the other. He arrives at an olive suitcase with flower stickers. He throws it open. It's filled with brown corduroys and green shirts. He throws aside the clothes, searching in panic. Then he finds what he's looking for. He smiles. It's a pack of Scooby snacks Scared gave him. And shrieking demons burst through the doorway behind him. And Scooby tosses a comb at them. And as you might imagine, this does little good. He clutches the Scooby snack bag in his mouth. He barrels away Interior Holiday Inn room. Daphne eats yogurt in bed. A very loud Hong Kong action movie on TV drowns out the commotion below. She hears a knock at the door. Daphne says, Fred, didn't I tell you? Uh-oh. She walks to the door, opens it. Shaggy looks like a maniac. The extremity of the a situation has pushed him into a nervous, quiet numbness. It's Shaggy, Daphne says. He puts his finger to his lips. And he says, shh, whispering, pointing downstairs. Demons are eating people. Daphne says, demons what? Daphne pushes her inside. He softly he shuts the door.
Shaggy, we'll jump out the window. Shaggy totters to the window. Daphne, what? Shaggy, you're being a weirdo. Get out of my room. Shaggy pulls up the shade. He peers outside. Demons cling to the bricks, crawling up the side of the hotel. Shaggy, windows out. Shaggy walks to the front door. He opens it and peeks outside. Demon is smashing into rooms along the hallway. Shaggy closes the door. Shaggy, that way's no good either. Shaggy notices some suitcase straps on the bed, picks one up, begins. Wait, did I read that right? Yeah,
Typing it? I
that's
don't
that's
know
what I'm
what.
saying.
That
I'm
makes
like,
no sense, but okay.
Daphne, what are you doing? Shaggy, I'll make two nooses. We'll hang you first. I'll make sure you're dead. This way, like at
God.
least they won't get our soul. Oh my
Jesus
God, this is so
Christ.
dark. Daphne, fine. If you don't leave, then I will. Daphne tosses the door open and moves into. That's so dark.
Jesus Christ.
That's so dark.
I like I like the idea of Scooby-Doo being more mature and having raunchy humor. I don't like the dark things is about this so much, though.
No, that's like completely insane. I guess
Yeah, no.
that last part where we were confused because it says typing, I guess they meant tying.
Yeah, I think so. Oh man. Interior Holiday Inn hallway. Daphne sees the demon. He looks up at her. Her interior Holiday Inn room. Seconds later, Daphne slams the door shut, locking it. She's speechless. Shaggy nods and smiles in understanding. The demon's arm smashes through the window. The other demon kicks in the front door. Daphne backflips next to the doors that lead from room to room. She opens the first door. Shaggy says, Daphne, no, grab a noose. Those doorways are only open on one side. Daphne grabs the knob to the second door. She swings it open, and it's Fred's room. And all. Daphne says, "Thank God, Freddy's a scum bucket." The demon is about to grasp Shaggy. Shaggy dives after Daphne into Freddy's room, interior Fred's hotel room. Shaggy locks the door behind him. The demon slams his fist through the door. It splinters. As Daphne dashes through the front door. Interior Holiday Inn hallway. As Daphne enters the hall, she finds herself facing another huge demon. Daphne quickly closes her eyes. She busts her fist out, starts humming and summoning her chi. The demon pokes her in the forehead with his huge finger, knocking her out. And he slings her over his shoulder.
Shaggy runs into the hall. He sees Wait, that doesn't
That's a
make
weird.
any sense. Shaggy runs into the hall. He sees Shaggy over the
Probably
demon's
Daphne.
shoulder.
He probably meant to be
Yeah,
Daphne.
yeah. The demon slinks down the hall like an ape. Shaggy grabs Daphne's forearm. He yanks. She slides off the demon and into Shaggy's arms. Shaggy runs down the hall, cradling her. The demon turns, sees Shaggy with Daphne, and takes chase. Scooby appears, running up the stairwell with Scooby snacks. trademark, in his mouth. His path converges with Shaggy. Shaggy, Scooby, what are you do? Ten of Tens of demons rush up the stairwell behind Scooby. Shaggy carrying Daphne and Scooby running down the hall together. The horde of screeching demons chases them. A window is at the end of the hall. Scooby leaps towards the window. Exit Holiday Inn, rear. Scooby-Doo's gargantuan body crashes majestically through the glass. Shaggy with Daphne flies out behind him. They plummet 20 feet. They land on a long, the mouse is over, yeah, awning overhanging the rear recreational area of the hotel. They slide down it, spinning, and are flung splashing into the hotel swimming pool. The demons leap out the window after them, but they're too heavy to slide down the awning. They tear through the fabric and land painfully on the hard concrete. Scooby and Shaggy, I'm guessing that meant to be are and not and. Scooby and Shaggy are walking. Daphne pull themselves out. Oh, and a walking Daphne pull themselves out of the pool. Okay, that makes sense. The demons are far behind them. Interior Holiday Inn, Boulder. Moments later, Scooby and Shaggy are hidden behind a large boulder. They're peeking around it. Daphne is pacing nervously. Some of this writing feels rushed.
Oh, yeah. Demons in the distance head in a single file from the hotel, the inn, and unconscious students are slung over their shoulders. The inn itself is in terrible condition, with shattered windows, doors, and huge holes in walls. Shaggy says, "They can't see us. I guess we're safe for the time being." Daphne says, "Alrighty, so we need to figure out a way to defeat the demons and then save Fred and Velma." Shaggy says, "Well, that's sort of like my plan, which was get the heck out of here and let the demons eat Fred and Velma." Scooby he opens his bag of snacks. The bag is filled with water. He chews one and gets a sour expression. He looks at Shaggy, who is dialing his cell phone. Shaggy says, "You can't eat those. They're soaked in chlorine." This upsets Scooby. A single tear falls down his face. Daphne says, "What are you doing?" And Shaggy says, "I'm calling the cops." Daphne says, "Wait, we don't need the cops. Fred and Velma always figured out everything. Now it's our turn. For the first time, they're the damsels in distress, not me." Shaggy says, "Daphne, you just were the damsel in distress. I saved you." Daphne's lip quivers with this realization. She slumps to the ground against the boulder. Daphne says, "Ah, crap. It's my destiny. I'm trapped in an endless, vicious cycle of being captured and saved."
Continued, Shaggy. Interphone, "I'd like to report like a kidnapping." To Daphne, "Get some rest. We'll wait here." Scooby eats his Scooby snacks with a disgusted look on his face, weeping. Oh, poor Scooby. Fade to exterior Spooky Island, dawn. The sun peeks over the tropical fun park, bleaching away the terror of the night before. Raymondo, "You the ones called in the kidnapping?" Exterior Holiday Inn, Boulder. Shaggy and Daphne blink themselves awake. Hard-bitten Lieutenant Raymondo and fresh-faced Officer Fitzgibbon stand over them. Scooby is writing something on the rock. Raymondo, "Lieutenant Emilio Raymondo, U.S. Coast Guard. This is Officer Fitzgibbon." Daphne, "I'm Daphne Blake." Shaggy Rogers. Scooby pokes Raymondo. He points at the equation he's written in the dust of rock. 12 plus 7 equals 3.1415926. So he wrote 12 plus 7 equals pi.
I mean, yo, I'm surprised he knows what pi is.
Oh, this is so good. Oh, that's so funny. Raymondo, way off. Raymondo readies his notebook. Raymondo, so what's up?
Oh, I think we're gonna we'll cut it off there for
Yeah.
today.
Oh my God.
Oh, this was very interesting. I I really do wish we could have seen this version of the script. Actually get turned into a movie that will come out. Because
Mhm.
this has been a lot of fun so far.
It has been, I mean, the movies themselves, especially Spooky Island, was entertaining as is with what they came out with. But if they had just kept everything that we have read so far, it would have been 1,000 times more
Oh
entertaining.
yeah.
And I fear I would have appreciated it more as an adult now, rather than feeling it nostalgic about it because I watched it in my childhood.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
so funny. I love that he
I
doesn't know how to do math.
yeah, I love that bit. I I like the only thing that I'm disliking in it is like some of the really dark jokes. So I'm just like, why? Why would you put those in?
Yeah, and like we never see any, especially Scooby and Shaggy being that, I guess the only word to say is like self, not even self-deprecating. It's like it's depressing. I
Yeah.
like the most they've done has been like, okay, well, I give up. And
Hmm.
but they do that. That's like their thing is like we give up, and they're like, oh, but you'll do it for Scooby Snack, and they're like, okay, we'll do it. But you never
Uh,
see them be like, guess we'll have to hang ourselves. Like that's insane. I can't
yeah.
believe they put that
Like,
in the script.
um one thing though that is a change in the script that I think is an interesting change, but if you're going to do that change, and there's a bit more that you need to do with it. Um, so they had that Scooby was hawking Scooby snacks. He was doing like commercials for them. I feel like if you're gonna make that be a storyline in it, you should make it that Scooby doesn't want to eat Scooby snacks anymore.
Right?
Make it like he's so tired of them after all of this.
Mm-hmm. Especially because that part of the text where they were, saying that he was doing Scooby Snack commercials, you could read that he was getting really tired of
Oh yeah.
rereading it because they kept telling him he had to pronunciate his words. So it doesn't make sense completely that he would like still love Scooby Snacks.
Yeah.
But I guess because it's branding and it's part of the
Mm-hmm.
Scooby-Doo brand that they kind of like decided that they had to keep going with it.
Uh,
But it just doesn't like realistically make
mm-hmm.
sense for
Yeah.
the scenes.
One thing that was absolutely crazy that was that they have reference to that I'm not surprised that Warner Brothers had them take out since I'm pretty sure this is also a Warner Brothers property. Is the reference to Friends, and they had that the friends are eating a dog. I'm I cannot imagine Warner Brothers being like, we're gonna allow you to put that into this and ruin our friend's brand.
Yeah, they read that and they were like, yeah, we're not doing this. This is not
Yeah.
happening. That's never seeing the light of day.
Oh man. Well, really quick, before we end this off, you want to let everyone know all the places that they can find you.
So I am on TikTok as Mary Does Horror, part of Cinema Society Saturday, of course. That's how I met this amazing person, which is Smash Trivia John. I am also on TikTok as Mary666, which is my main account. And I'm also on Instagram as I am delirious. The am is XM and not AM. It's a little confusing, but once you start putting it in, it makes sense. And then I also have a horror Instagram, which is the same as my horror account. Mary does horror. So that's everywhere you can find me as of right now.
All right. So everyone check out Mari on all of her different places. Thank you everyone for listening to this. If you like this game analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this insane script. So please let me know. If you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more game analysis from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash John, signing off.